Welcome to Tackle Talk Live, dedicated to making you a better fisherman. Proudly brought to you by our sponsors: The Boat Shop, 3J's Fourway, Pride Rods, Keith's Toledo Bend Tackle, The Lakes Insurance Agency, Lone Star Bass Trail, V&M Baits. Now on to your hosts, Ranger Daiwa Pro Staff Steve Graff and V&M Baits President Kevin Jean.
That's right. You've tuned in to Tackle Talk Live right here on the shores of Sibley Lake in Natchitoches, Louisiana. I'm Ranger Daiwa Pro Staffer Steve Graff along with V&M President Kevin Jean. And Kevin, we got a really good show lined up for today. He did all the work for this week, and he does a great job. We got some people lined up. You guys that fish the top six, you better tune in, and you better send all your buddies a message to tune in, because you're gonna hear how it was won.
Well, not only the top six, Steve, the Sealy's in 2 weeks.
Oh yeah,
the Sealy
that's coming
outdoors.
up.
So all you guys that's getting ready to fish the Sealy's,
yeah,
we got everything you need to know about Toledo Bend.
Yep.
So.
We've also got the ABA Solo Top 150 results for you. We've got the Toyota Series results. And real quick, we also want to dedicate this show and sad news. An angler, actually, Peter Lammons Jr., former NFL, University of Texas player back in the late 60s, early 70s, 77 years old, had fished, I think, 57 events with FLW, MLF, now MLF, but over the years, and as a co-angler, great guy, great gentleman, great ambassador of the sport. Not sure all the details. Speculation is that he did fall out of the boat, but they think maybe he might have had a heart attack in the process is what caused him to fall out. But anyway, he was recovered. Thoughts and prayers go out to the family and, again, to Peter Lammons Jr. It's a sad situation, Kevin, you know?
Yeah, it is, Steve. I mean, it's horrible news. And again, we was talking before the show here. I hate this for the family. Man, I would really hate to be that boat or two.
Yeah.
That horrible thing that happened there. You know, and I talked to several guys that I know that have had him in the boat, Mr. Peter in the boat with him as a co-angler, Daryl Gleason, Matt Loescher. We can go on down the list of guys I know that said, hey, you know, we've had him in the boat. Great guy. Just hate to hear this sad news. He's been a part of this community and this angling world for a long time.
Yeah, it is. And, you know, every once in a while, tragedy strikes on these tournament trails, and this is definitely one that hit close to home this time on Sam Rayburn. And again, our thoughts and prayers. We dedicate today's program to Mr. Peter Lammons Jr. and thank you for all you did for the world of bass fishing and being a great ambassador of the sport. And real quick, we've got also Keelan Manuel. He's from the Lake Area Bass Club number 2, who was the winning team for the top 6. We're going to have him on here in just a few minutes. Again, as Kevin's alluded to, going to give you some details. All you guys fishing the Bob Sealer or maybe anything else coming up over there, make sure you tune in, pass the word along. Again, we're going to give you the results of the Die Hard, which Die Hard Kevin was fishing with the Die Hard Club in the top 6. We've also got the Toyota results. We got Lone Star Bass Trail results. We've got the upcoming events. Triple T's coming to Sam Rayburn this weekend, and then we got some other news coming up, what other tournaments are coming up in the future. So, hey, sit back, relax, grab you a turkey sandwich right now, get you a Coke, sweet tea, whatever your beverage is, and pull up a chair and listen to what we got to say today. We got a good show. And first of all, we got a brand new sponsor. We can't say thank you enough to Toledo Health. They are the new what do they
it's
call
an
it?
urgent care.
It's
more
center
of an
at
urgent
Toledo
care
Bend.
center. It's right there. Everybody's ever been to Toledo Bend, you can't miss it.
No.
If you're coming from the Manny Highway 6, right before you get to Toledo Bend, right before you get to stop sign, it's right there on your right. If you're coming up 191 from South Toledo Bend, you take a right at the stop sign, and it'll be right there. You can't miss it. They take care of everything you can need. They came on board with us. Excited to have them on board. Make sure to give them a like on their Facebook page. If you'll scroll down on the Tackle Talk page, it's their Facebook page. Like, follow them there. So it's located at Highway 6 near Toledo Town. Full service primary care and acute care clinic. Nurse practitioners Jarrett Rule and Melissa Vines bring quality health care that's convenient to the area. Appointments available and walk-ins are always welcome. They treat everything from fish hook removal to chronic conditions, high blood pressure, diabetes, so on and so forth. Give them a call at 318-508-5323. And again, that's located at 11340 Texas Highway in Manny.
Also coming up, there's one more event, the championship event of the Open Team Series events with Lone Star Bass Trail. May 23rd is their championship on Sam Rayburn. $5,000 up for grabs, $150 entry fee, 5-fish limit, $2,000 on the On Fish Award for Team of the Year. So if you're Team of the Year and in that running for Team of the Year, $2,000 is headed your way, and not a bad little check for fishing this little tournament trail. Great trail. Check it out. Again, there'll be a fall circuit as well at Toledo Bend, and we'll give you more details about that as we get into probably around August. We'll let you know about that circuit that'll be starting off in September.
Yep. And the boat shop. Mr. Raymond Kidd and his staff take great pride in keeping your boat and motor performing at its best. A certified Yamaha dealer and full support Garmin dealer offering the best in electronics and the new Garmin trolling motor. Stop by 2410 Sanford Avenue in Shreveport and let the boat shop take care of all your boating needs. Give them a call at 318-402-0399 or go to shreveportboatshop.com. And Steve, I want to add to that, now a Camus boat dealer.
Yes, absolutely. Actually stopped in there not too long ago. Saw a couple of the Camus boats. He had a 20 and a 21 footer. Very impressive. And those of you who don't know about Camus, it's Earl Benz. He's the designer. He's the founder of Camus Boats. And it's, guys, well, it's just another Triton. No, it's really not another Triton. It's got some special features and some features that I was impressed with, especially the back end of the boat. Finally, a manufacturer has gotten it right. With something you can work on. The battery compartments are big. You can get to your bilge pumps. You can get to your aerators with just pulling the door open, and there they are. You can change them out yourself. You can actually work on the boat yourself. And again, well designed. So if you're looking for a new boat, check out the boat shop. Check out the Camus line of boats. And he's got Sea Arc there as well for, if you're looking for a good aluminum boat, crappie fishermen, want to fish Red River, hey, can't beat the Sea Arc line of boats. They've got a great lineup as well.
Steve, we got the man, Mr. Keelan Manuel, on the phone. Keelan, you with us?
Yes, sir, I am.
So Keelan, Steve, Lake Area Bass Club, they had two teams in the ALBC Top 6 this past weekend. Lake Area Bass Club number 2 won the tournament with 63.31 pounds. Had the largest stringer of the tournament with 38.70. And right before we get to Keelan, I want to break this down for everybody that maybe is not familiar with the Top 6. The ALBC Top 6, you send, every club in the state sends their top 6 anglers. And with those top 6 anglers, there's 3 boats, 2 anglers per boat. At the end of the day, the anglers meet up, whether it's in the parking lot, on the water. They meet up, and they take their 9 largest fish and weigh them 9 in. So these guys had 63.31 total with 18 fish.
Yeah.
38.70 with 9 fish on day 2. That's math. That's over a 4-pound average.
That's over 4-pound average.
I mean, that was pretty impressive. Keelan, man, congratulations to you guys. Awesome comeback on day 2, man. Just want to say congrats to all you guys. And now we're ready for coordinates and all the other good info.
Well, I got a show for y'all then.
Yeah, that's part of that's required to come on this show now, Keelan, is you got to give up GPS coordinates.
Man, anywhere from Hemphill to Logansport, they were biting.
Keelan, man, so let's jump straight into day 2. So day 1, you guys had 24.61, about middle of the pack. 38.70 on day 2, biggest bag of the tournament. Was this all 3 boats combined? Was one boat really on them? Kind of tell us how this went down on Saturday.
Saturday really worked out for all 3 boats. We all kind of contributed. My boat had a 4 and change, and then later in the day, a 7-pounder off a crankbait, and really turned things around. We had just, good fish, but nothing really spectacular. And my co-angler, he texted the guys and said, hey, we just put a 7 in the boat, and everybody was hoorah. And it wasn't, I think about 17 minutes later on the text messages, one of our other guys had just caught a giant. And what's a giant? And then you get the awesome news that 947, I think he said on his scale. And we said, wow. It is a real giant. So,
Now, what did 947 come on?
I believe he was fishing deeper water, football jig and pig.
Okay.
Keelan, so for your 3 boats, everybody kind of treats this differently. So for your 3 boats, for your team, did all of you guys fish the same area, the same spot, or y'all just kind of spread out and said, I'm going to do my own thing?
We spread out a little bit, and then we kind of ran circles around each other as time went on, and we kind of figured out some fish and where they were. Morning time, we all scattered out to where we thought would be best with, trying to find the mystical shad spawn bite and whatnot. And a few fish came off of that, and then as the day would go on, we'd start moving deep, and we'd all found a few groups of fish. We stayed predominantly mid-lake from the Greek to Lowe's, and a couple guys ran up to Palo Gaucho area and stuff like that.
Got you. All right, so on day one, we just never got a big fish bite, but we catch plenty of fish now. And I was out there. I fished in this thing, Steve, Friday, let me tell you. When all this rain comes, I don't know, 3-4 inches what we got. The tournament was going on.
Yeah.
When I tell you it was bad, that rain, it was brutal on Friday. Keelan, did we just never get a big bite Friday, or kind of how Friday go down for you guys?
Man, Friday with the weather, we really wanted to try that topwater bite and see if we can't get anything going. Pre-fish, I caught a couple good sized fish, throwing a big spook around, and really wanted that to come about, but we just never found it. None of us did. Like you said, I went off deep. We found groups of fish and caught them on the Alabama rig and all the fun stuff. But you would battle through Kentuckys and 14 inches, and you finally catch a 3-pounder if you were lucky. So it just, like you said, never really got that one good one to come in the boat.
Yeah, and definitely did on Saturday. You had 9 and a 7. And
yeah.
So definitely did on Saturday.
9 and 7s go a long way.
Yeah.
Those go along.
They certainly group up.
Now, Keelan, let me ask you this. Toledo Bend's kind of gotten I wouldn't say a black eye, but let's just say its ego got bruised a little bit over the last couple of years with the quality of fishing. How do you feel like, I know y'all won, and it's easy to say, oh, it's great, but overall, do you think the lake is in good shape? Do you feel like it's in pretty good shape right now?
I think it's healthy. It's such a different fishery when you get spoiled to places like Rayburn right next door. You can go to that place and throw at grass lines that you dream about all day.
Right.
And catch them out how you expect to catch them when you go to Toledo Bend. It's so barren compared to what it used to be, and having to find fish so differently.
Yeah.
Keelan, let's break down the baits you guys were fishing here. So your boat that had good weight. You said mainly crankbaits.
Yes, sir. I caught my good one on a big spook, so I got one good topwater bite and turned that around. We had a couple other solid fish come off topwater. I caught a good batch of fish first thing in the morning at daylight on a 6 cents the weight bait.
Yeah.
And that came in handy for a few fish. And then, yes, sir, we moved out deep and bombed Carolina rigs and Alabama rig, put a few in the boat. And then a C10 and up to the C20 we caught a batch of fish on.
Now,
and, our 7-pounder came off the C20.
Now, Keelan, what depth are we talking about here? You're saying out deep.
Morning time, we'd start, anywhere from dirt shallow out to about 4 to 6 foot. And then we found better groups from about 14 to almost 20, but about 16 foot kind of seemed to be a sweet spot on the breaks of the end of the points and stuff.
Right.
Now I know, Keelan, too, where I was fishing up in Oklahoma, full moon kind of came into play a little bit this weekend. There was a pretty good bite from about 11 o'clock till about 2 o'clock. Was that the same at Toledo Bend?
Yes, sir. We, I think 11:42 or so we caught the 7, and I think 11:57 they caught the 9. So
okay.
It was that middle of the day swing.
Yeah.
What about the 9-pounder your guys caught, Keelan, off the football jig? Was it in brush? We're talking 18, 20 foot, or are we back around that 15, 16 foot range?
I think he told me 21 foot off the end of just a big hump. He'd found a couple groups of fish.
Yeah.
And I think he said, matter of fact, he was just drop shotting because there were some under him, and he put that down and then threw that football jig and caught that 9.
Okay. All right. Good deal. Let's see here. Steve, anything else we got for Keelan we want to break down? So if you're okay, so the Sealy's in 2 weeks, Keelan. For guys that are listening to this, got the Sealy Outdoors coming in 2 weeks. What any recommendations you'll give these guys in 2 weeks? I mean, these fish are still making the move out, obviously.
Yes, sir. And I would believe in those grass if you got them. We found a lot of fish. It's just, and you got to have the patience. We had honestly 2 really good days, even considering the weather and everything. We probably had each day 25 to 35 fish that we caught. But out of those fish, a quarter of them are 3 pounds and plus. It's just a lot of numbers until you're patient enough to pick through them.
Now, Steve, I'm going to say this. I'm going to tell a quick story. So the point he caught a 7-pounder on, I was generous enough to let Keelan have that point.
Oh, you gave it up.
I did. So here's what happened. So Friday,
that's a good guy.
I run across me and my partner Trey Eber run across the lake, and we mainly there's this one point that's been having some fish on it. Want to see if we have any size off of it.
Yeah.
On Friday we had a good bag. We had 35 pounds, and anyway. So we ran across the lake to check this point. Well, Keelan is idling it.
Yeah.
So I see him fishing it. I run over it, and after he gets through, I don't leave. But I didn't come back to that point on Saturday. I wanted to make sure Keelan beat me to it on Friday.
Yeah.
So and that's where he caught the 7-pounder. So Keelan, I just want to say you're welcome.
I greatly appreciate it more than you know.
Yeah. Keelan, send him a check, okay?
No, that is definitely not. I thought it had all. I mean, all I caught off of them was spots and little fish. I definitely did not catch the size that Keelan caught off that point. But man, congratulations, great showing from you guys, man. And just want to say, best of luck, everything going forward in the future, Keelan.
Yes, sir. Thank y'all very much.
All right, there you got it, straight from the man himself, Keelan Manuel. He was one of the winning anglers on Lake Area Bass Club #2. And Kevin, overall, the top 6 used to be a huge event. Now they've split it up into best 6 and another 2. There's 2 different circuits now. Your opinion? I mean, is it?
Well,
it's not what it used to be, but is it still good?
It is. It's a fun. Now this is the first time I have fished this thing in 10 or 12 years, Steve.
Yeah.
I just haven't fished it in the past. Haven't done much club stuff in the past, but I enjoy it. I enjoy the tournament. Excuse me. It's a different format. It's a different style of tournament. It's just different.
Yeah.
I enjoy that. I enjoy the camaraderie with the other anglers you're working with, the other boats you're working with. It was down this year. You only had 50-something teams. I think 150 boats total. Very disappointed in that. Hate to see that. Hope that it comes back. I really do.
Yeah.
It used to be the Super Bowl of Louisiana.
Oh man, it was big.
I mean,
that and Oilman's were the 2 biggest tournaments of the year.
And I really hope we can get back to that because that's what everybody growing up. When I was growing up, that's what everybody talked about.
Yeah,
the top 6. But top six, and I hope it's able to get back to that. But this weekend they showed. I mean, all of them guys can flat out catch them. I mean, 63.
How many were in it? How many teams were in it total?
There's 50. It was right at 53 clubs.
Okay, that's good. That's a good turnout.
But I think year before last they had 80-something.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So it's coming down a little bit, but I hope.
Do you think part of that's because Toledo's fishing so tough that some of the teams just didn't come?
I don't know, Steve. I really don't. Yeah. And to say that Toledo this past weekend with the weather, I mean, Rayburn struggled. Them guys struggled at Rayburn.
Yeah.
I felt like Toledo it's got a healthy amount of fish.
Right.
The problem is there's nothing for them fish to hold on or to feed on. There's
so
no
they're
grass.
Moving a lot.
They are just chasing bait.
Yeah.
They are just
find
flat
a bait
out
fish, you'll find the bass.
I will tell you, we caught a lot of fish, and we were fortunate enough. We finished 3rd. We had 61-32 Diehard Bass Club. We had 35-67 day 1. We had a 9. We got 2nd place Big Bass. Dylan Van Matry caught a 9.72 for us. Trey Abear, my partner, had a 6. I had a 4. We caught them very well. We had them at noon on Friday.
Yeah.
And went practicing basically. And I feel like Toledo is very healthy. I really do. The fish are healthy. There's good quality fish. I mean, you can go down and look at the average weights these guys weighed in.
Yeah.
There's very good quality in Toledo Bend. The lake, there's no grass. There's hardly any shallow water structure.
Right.
These fish are just roaming and chasing bait because that's all they have to feed on. So again, my opinion.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Well, hey, good luck to those people. Again, Bob Seeley's coming up there in 2 weeks. No, not this weekend, but next weekend. And so those of you that are looking to fish that, hey, you may have got some good tips here today, and maybe that'll help you. Real quick, we got some more sponsors besides welcoming Toledo Health. We got 3J's Fourway and Cypress in the Outdoors, a store within a store, and a great place for lunch with an awesome deli and the best fried chicken in the South. 3J's Fourway offers gas, food, ice, but Cypress Knee also offers a great selection of hunting, fishing gear, products from Santone, Strike King, Spro, Gamakatsu, and of course the #1 soft plastic, V&M Baits. You got a great selection of V&M as well. Hunting supplies from Primo, guns from Winchester, Remington, Mossberg, along with a great selection of ammunition. Stop in, say hello, John Abraham and his great staff at Cypress Knee Outdoors, right inside the doors of 3J's Fourway, located 1 mile east off I-49, exit 127. You can give them a call at 318-238-HUNT, H-U-N-T.
And next up on the list, Pride Rods. Custom rods built in Montgomery, Texas. The finest rods ever made by Mr. Billy Kistler, constructed with the finest North Fork composite blank by Mr. Gary Loomis. They carry a complete line of spinning and casting rods for both freshwater and saltwater applications. Pride rods pass not only the eye test, but performance as well. Ask your local tackle dealer if they carry Pride rods and pick one up and try it out for yourself. To learn more, go to priderods.com or call 832-418-6040.
And those of you guys that are headed over to Toledo Bend, again, if you're looking for information for the Sealy, or maybe you're going on across, headed for Rayburn, Keith's Toledo Bend Tackle is the place to stop. They have a great amount of bait and tackle, as well as quality information from Ben Matsubu, former Elite Series Pro, and Keith himself, the owner. Keith Neighbors right there doing a great job, great store, great selection, full pegs. You will walk in that store, you'll find what you need at Keith's Toledo Bend Tackle. Check them out. They're just right across the Pendleton Bridge on the Texas side, right off Highway 21. And so make sure you pull in there and tell them Tackle Talk Live sent you.
The Lakes Insurance Agency is an independent insurance agency that has been taking care of Texans' insurance need for 25 plus years, offering auto, homeowners, boat, recreational vehicle, life, health, and commercial insurance. The owner, Clark Moore, is a local guide and tournament angler who understands your insurance needs as a boat owner and wants to be your go-to guy. Give him a call for a free quote or drop by the agency at 805 Southeast Stalling Suite 3 in Nacogdoches. Give him a call at 936-205-4467. And we want to give a shout out to Mr. Clark Moore. Finished AOY in the top solo 150. And
finished fourth.
Fourth in the AOY point. So shout out to him. Qualified for the Ray Scott National Championship, Mr.
Yep.
Clark Moore.
Yep. And speaking of the ABA Solo Top 150, the results for this event, and you follow Oklahoma. And let me go ahead and just kind of preface this whole thing. As Kevin alluded to, they got rain on Friday. Well, Wednesday's when it hit in northeast Oklahoma, and it came in buckets, 5 inches in 12 hours. The lake jumped up 5 feet before we left, 3 feet in 2 days. And it was just absolutely incredible how much water. That is a huge watershed up there, and that's a big lake. And but I still say this: the fishing before that front hit was absolutely incredible. And when it hit, boy, I tell you what, it threw everything. It turned everything to chocolate milk. There was about 2 or 3 areas on the lake that had good, clean water, and that's where the guys zeroed in and caught them. Zach Clark won his second top 150 solo. He won the Rayburn event, the last one we had at Sam Rayburn, and he pulled away a victory in this one here with 32.31 pounds, 9 fish total for 2 days, and he won this thing. Brett Hortman, my team partner, part-time team partner and roommate, finished second right here out of Natchez, Louisiana. Brett is the only angler that had 2 5-fish limits both days. Quite an accomplishment for as tough as this tournament was. Brett finished second with 24.38. Cole Garrett from Winfield, another good friend of mine. I room with Cole sometimes, and great angler. Tremendous just does a great job. Cole can figure them out. He's from Winfield, Louisiana. He finished third with 24.01. Eli Brummett from Wagner, Oklahoma, was a top Oklahoma angler. He finished fourth with 23.44. Philip Luciford from Stigler, Oklahoma. He finished fifth with 23.05. Kevin Lazione from Dry Prong, Louisiana. And I will say this, Louisiana guys showed out in this event. They showed out. Kevin Lazione finished sixth with 22.15. Robert Starks from Doyline, Louisiana, finished seventh with 19.16. And Jeremy Francis from Livingston, Texas, finished eighth with 18.71. Nathan Asbill, Patua, Oklahoma, finished ninth with 18.36. And Ryan Keel from Center, Texas, finished 10th with 18.32. Adrian James from Winfield finished 11th. Let's see. Yours truly finished 22nd. Let's see here. Who else? Oh, Alexander. Jason Leday from Alexander finished 16th. Bernice, Louisiana. Walt Stevens finished 17th. He was actually getting to that. Walt won Angler of the Year. He is the AOY for the ABA Top 150 Solo. And congratulations, Walt. And John Suckup came in second, also from Texas. He won the first event of the year at Toledo Bend. He finished second. Nick Kincaid was third in AOY. Clark Moore, again, Lakes Insurance Agency owner. Clark Moore finished fourth, and Kevin Lazione was fifth. So all five of those guys qualified for the Ray Scott National Championship. And congratulations to all those guys. Cole Garrett, Zach Clark, who won two events, finished seventh for the year. Had a bad Toledo Bend tournament, and if it hadn't been for that, he'd probably have won AOY. Cole Garrett was ninth in the year, AOY. So congratulations to all those guys. Job well done.
And I want to add, Steve, Zach Clark won that event on a J-Bug. Just want to add that.
There you go.
Just want to add that.
Just want to make sure we get that in.
But, we had Zach on after he won the Rayburn event. Great fisherman, just kind of really getting into the hardcore tournaments. And, man, he's a great angler. And we'll be announcing his name for years to come for sure. No doubt about that. So the Toyota Series this past weekend on Sam Rayburn, it was basically Keith Combs walking away with it on day 1 and 2. But Steve, day 3, left the door open. He weighed in 10 pounds, 15 ounces on day 3. John Bensema in second place. Almost, I ain't going to say almost. He was still 9 pounds short, but he had 19.12 on day 3.
He made up some ground.
He stumbled a little bit, but still finished overall winning the turn by 9 pounds.
Yeah. And day 2 having almost a 30-pound bag.
Correct.
That really...
So first place, Keith Combs, 63.03. John Bensema, second place, 54.09. Third place was Jeff Bridges, and this is 3-day total weight, guys. Third place, Jeff Bridges, was 52 pounds. Then we jumped down. Fourth place, Todd Castledine, was 44.04. Fifth place, Cameron Madison, finished with 42.07. Steve, so Cameron, I think, was second or third AOY. Cameron Madison right here, Shreveport, Louisiana. We've had him on the show. Yeah. Just qualified for the pro circuit next season.
Oh, well, good.
For the MLF pro circuit. He will be fishing that. Great fisherman. Look forward for great things for Cameron for the year. I believe Cameron's also leading points in the BFL. That's
what I was going to say. He's AOY, I think, in the BFL series, leading it.
Second or third in Toyota. So, congrats to Cameron on qualifying for the pro circuit event. And I look forward for good things to come from Cameron.
Yeah. So congratulations to all the guys. Had a great tournament over there at Sam Rayburn. You can obviously tell because it drops off pretty hard.
And that's what I'm saying, Steve.
Yeah, it dropped off quick.
Going back to Toledo Bend and Sam Rayburn, look at the weights.
Yeah.
What did it take to get a check? 3-day total weight.
At Sam Rayburn, 34th was the last check. It took 23.09.
23.09 in 3 days of fishing.
That's a 10-pound bag and a 13-pound bag.
A 2-day fish. I'm sorry. 2-day of fishing.
That's the last place check was 23.09. So
23.09 in 2 days of fishing. Toledo Bend.
So if you average 12 pounds a day, you got to check.
You got to check.
Yeah.
And again, we were set in second place, and we averaged a 4-pound fish in the top 6 in second place.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. The quality is there at Toledo Bend. No, they're not easy to catch, but if you can find them grouped up, at one point, me and my partner Trey, on Saturday, we pull up on a point at 2:00, and it was loaded.
Yeah.
in about 12 to 15 foot of water, and we caught them every cast for about 15, 20 minutes. Now, you catch a little one, catch a spot, catch a white bass, caught a 4-pounder.
Now, do you think, Kevin, with I know the same, it was after my scouting trip on Eufaula in Oklahoma, and I pulled out on my lake map, all my dots were clustered together. Like
Right.
when I caught one, I caught 3 or 4.
Yeah.
Maybe even 5. One area I caught 11. Could have caught 11. I put a cover on the hook. But my point is Toledo Bend the same. When you find them, are they grouped
I think
up right
that,
now?
yes, they're in group packs, roaming, chasing shad.
Yeah.
They are in
But-
wolf packs.
If you find them on a point today, they may be the next point down tomorrow, right?
Absolutely.
Whatever
And
the bait fish are doing.
it's more of a timing thing
Yeah.
right now, because, it's a timing thing of when they're going to be there feeding, and when they're going to get up on top of that point feeding where you can catch them.
So if you pulled up on a point right now and saw a lot of bait fish, would you camp out right there and just wait for the fish to come to you?
No, I'm not
No?
camping out, because they might be on the next point feeding.
Okay.
You're camping out,
You're
might
gonna
wait an
cover
hour and a
water.
half, 2 hours. I'm going to cover water
Right.
with my graphs until I find a group that is feeding. And what I mean by feeding is, if I see fish between 12 and 20 most of the time, right now,
Right.
later in the summer, it's different.
Right.
But right now, if you see some fish, in 12 to 18 is where I caught my fish at this past weekend. Carolina rig and a baby swamp haul, we caught them on 6XD some.
Yeah.
If I pull up and see fish, not just bait, if I see fish, they're feeding.
Yeah.
They're going to have shad around them. Now, if I idle a point and it's just bait everywhere, but there's no fish, the fish are not up feeding right now.
Right.
So, that's how I do it, and I know that's how a lot of the guys do it. If you can see them, you can see them on your side scan a lot of the times. If they're feeding up on a point, and you get up on top there with your front-facing sonar, and you can just pick them off.
Yeah,
When
yeah.
they're up there feeding, it's a hard timing deal right now. You're not going to catch a whole lot of fish unless you get on the right group on Toledo. But again, the quality is there on
Right.
Toledo Bend right now.
And on Sam Rayburn, the co-angler side, the Strike King co-angler side, it took basically 12 pounds a day. Kevin Carter won it. He had 11.7, 10.14, 13.12 for a 36.01 average. Total of 36.01. Again, 12-pound average a day, and he won the co-angler side. So congratulations to Kevin Carter.
Again, I'm on my soapbox a little bit here, Steve. So go back to Sam Rayburn. Everybody's in this big all about Sam Rayburn. Great fishery. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah. Oh,
I'm
yeah.
just trying to prove that Toledo Bend is getting back to where it used to be.
Yeah.
Day 1 big bass was Keith Combs had 7.15. Day 2 big bass, Keith Combs had a 7.14.
Right.
Okay. Now you go over to the best 6. Day 1, which was on Friday, big bass, Die Hard Bass Club, we had as a 9.72.
Right.
There was an 8.91 weight and then a 7. On day 2, on Saturday, you had 2 over 9 weight. You had a
Wow.
9.73 and a 9.27 weight.
Wow.
So the quality is there, and I think in 2 weeks, the Sealy Outdoors event with them fish starting to come out,
They'll
on
be in
these
that summer
points,
pattern by then. You
I'm
think?
not going to say summer pattern. They're going to be in that hard post-spawn pattern.
First drop.
And they're starting to gain weight back up.
Yeah.
We caught a 6-pounder on Friday. Steve, that thing was healthy.
Yeah.
Really healthy. The 972 that our teammate Dylan Van Matry caught was short and fat.
Yeah.
Like he pulled it out. He said, "You think it's 10?" I'm like, "That thing is huge. I don't know if it's long enough."
Yeah.
But the fish on Toledo Bend are very, very healthy right now. They're feeding up. It's going to surprise people in the Sealy Outdoors event what it takes to get a check. I'm telling you right now,
Yeah.
it will surprise some people.
Well, talking about the bass feeding, I did something I've never done before at Eufaula, Oklahoma this past week. I caught a 2-pounder, got it in the boat, and I noticed a shad come out of its mouth. Well, I grabbed the fish behind the back to squeeze it, and it looked like one of those money machines where they're throwing dollar bills out.
Yeah.
About 5 shad come out of this fish, and I was like amazed. At that, they were gorging themselves up there on shad, and all the shad were about 1.5 inches, 2 inches long, every one of them. And so again, Toledo Bend, you got to change your mindset a little bit when you go to Toledo Bend. You got to cover water. Rayburn, you can set up in an area and like with grass and punch it
Yeah.
and milk it. But Toledo Bend, you got to move.
Yeah, absolutely.
Probably going to have to move. So
Upcoming events, Steve. Texas Team Trail this coming weekend on Sam Rayburn, the 7th and the 8th. So Texas Team Trail coming up this weekend. Those
Now,
guys are
they're
off limits this week until
they're
Friday.
going out of Humphreys. They go out of Humphreys, don't they?
Yes, most of the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then 2 weeks, May 14th, 15th, 16th, the Sealy Outdoors event on Toledo Bend. So that's what we've got coming up the next 2 weeks. I know there's an Outlaw Outdoors Average Joe tournament at the end of the month. I believe it's the 21st.
Right.
So a lot of big tournaments coming up next couple of weeks to everybody out there. So
yeah, hey, and again, now's a good time to get out there. Summertime's creeping up on us now, guys. It's 84 degrees. I know here today in Louisiana. And those warm, hot days are right around the corner. So get out there right now while you can, catch a few fish, and but wear your sunscreen.
And get some fish. Fish Life, great products. Guys, get some belly weights for those fish. As we're starting to come into this post-spawn feeding, this fish are out.
I need to find mine.
Shadow a little deeper.
Yep.
Get some belly weights for those fish, and you will. It will be a lot better for you. You won't have to fizz as many. Keep those fish alive longer until you can get them back in the water.
Again, thank you for tuning us in. We appreciate you, each and every one of you, for watching us each and every week. Thank you for your feedback. Thank you for all the comments on Facebook. We really appreciate that. And again, if you want to be a sponsor of the show, like we've just picked up Toledo Health, we'd love to have you. Check us out on our Facebook page. Message us. Kevin will get back to you and make sure you get a packet. We'll get you lined up and get you set up with us. So, again, thank you. Appreciate you tuning us in. If you want to continue to be a better angler, got to keep watching Tackle Talk Live. Have a good week.